All right. Hello and good day. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's Google Business Profile, Google Maps SEO Service Area Optimization video, what I need to share with you, business owner, is a way to optimize your Google Business Profiles service area. So I've seen numerous businesses, perhaps even your own. All right. When you take a look at your business listing, I'll share with you the optimizations within my own, and all businesses are different. Even if you have a physical address, they will still ask you, hey, where do you service? And I'll still see to this day a difference inside of the actual listing. I'll notice people still putting in zip codes. I'll see people putting in all types of different information that's not going to lead to more conversions or better optimization for proximity. And that's the name of the game. There's three things: relevance, proximity, and how authoritative are you? How old are you? How close are you to the searcher? And then how prominent are you within the internet? Like how often does your name show up next to other people or other businesses in your same niche? So let me share with you this optimization. Let me point this out to you. So when we're talking about Google Maps optimization, oftentimes you'll come into your profile, you'll come right into here, see this edit profile. And again, my industry is different than yours. I'm just going to show you within my own profile here. All right, just to make things a little bit easier. But as you can see here, when we scroll on down this list, all right, you'll see a location option. All right, so you'll have your main location, and then you'll be able to put in your service area or an area that you service. Now, oftentimes what I'll see is business owners will put in zip codes like 18252. This is one that's near me, right? This is Tamaqua. And in the past, that was going to be most certainly the best opportunity. You can pinpoint different zip codes. Now, let me go ahead and share with you why this could be a massive problem. Let's take a look at an example together. All right, we'll come over here really quick. The reason why you don't want to be utilizing zip codes is because we want to be prominent within an area. And I'll give you the tips of what you should be doing when optimizing your proximity for your areas that you service. This will be the step-by-step, simple but effective. All right. What you feed Google or Google Maps is massively important on what Google's going to show for you. Like, if you don't tell them where you service, they're never going to show you. That's it. I'm trying to think of an elegant way to say this, but it's such a simple thing, but I see people doing this wrong over and over and over again. So here, take a look at this. Let's go to Boston. All right. Here's why you don't want to use zip codes. Take a look at just Boston. Look how many zip codes there are in Boston. Now, even if you were to pick a neighborhood, I want to point this out to you. All right. Let's just go, we can use Boston and we'll go to maps. All right. So we come inside of here and I want to show this to you, business owner. See how Google identifies in red? This is the actual area that you're servicing. All right. Now, let's just say that you're in Boston. Okay. Now, if you only are targeting a specific area, such as, see everything that's in red here? I don't know if you can see this outline within the actual screen, but here, take a look here. If I go to Boston, all right, Google will go ahead and outline this. See how there's multiple neighborhoods and small towns within Boston? So Roxbury, Rosslyn, Jamaica, Dorchester, right? You with me? You can see these. Somerville's outside, but this is Boston, but there's all these neighborhoods and small towns within it. Right? Now, you may not service all of Boston. You may not want to service this particular neighborhood. The best opportunity for you is to do this. Let me share this with you. Come on over here. So we can see the red outline. This is how you identify a market. Generally, you want to go northeast, south, and west. Another much better way of doing this, all right, is you want to give Google 3 different elements when you're optimizing your service area. Here's how you'll do it. So instead of putting in zip codes, instead of putting in super big, broad areas, even outside the area that you service, what I would do is this. Let's just say that you are coming into, say, Boston. All right. So we'll still use Boston as an example. We'll look at Boston right inside of here. But let's just see here. Boston is what counties. All right. So Boston is in Suffolk County. All right. You with me? MA. All right. Suffolk County. Let's go ahead and grab this, copy, bring this over here. Now let's take a look at this. Suffolk County is not what I need. Massacre. Good. I hope you guys are having a good day. I actually had this question since this is a live stream. Somebody would, like just before this call, I was talking to them. That's what brought this up. And they had a bunch of zip codes in there, a whole boatload. And I'm like, well, do you service this area? Do you mention these zip codes within the site? Because no, Google is going to read what you have inside your Google business profile and the page that's connected. When you're here, zip codes are to be utilized. And you may have even seen other videos with me where you're putting zip codes within the page in order to outline to Google and identify to Google, hey, we operate in this area. You may put it in your schema. You may put it in the forward-facing text. I get it. But I don't want to jam-pack zip codes inside of my actual business listing. Now, you see this listing right here? Here, I'll show you something here. Watch this. So here, Chris Palmer, SEO. Okay, here, click on this. I'll show you something. So the area. This is just we just set this up. I'm testing out a little something. We've been utilizing a small little strategy with these service area businesses. So I'm working out a little something. Of course, I'm testing on myself. We're doing something with homes and these types of listings, and I'm trying to get the happy medium of getting these to show up. We're trying to get these proximities to rank higher on these types of listings. If you were curious. So, we don't have any information inside of here. I'm just trying to see how far out can I get this baby to go. Small test if you're curious. So back to the information at hand. So, when you'll put in your Google business profile, when you're first setting it up, your website. Well, the website that you'll put inside of here, the page that's connected, this is what I mean. So if you have a listing, let's just say, for instance, let's just go to, I don't know, just pick a business, I guess. Let's just do a car accident lawyer, Houston, okay, for educational purposes. So I'll say, hey, the page that's connected? That page that's connected, when you first set it up, if you go check your server log, you'll notice you're getting a lot of hits onto the website. Now, why is that? Well, the reason is Google is taking a look, most notably, they're taking a look at the HTML, they're looking at the A tags, they're rendering the DOM, they're looking at the A tags, and they're taking in the information that's within the page that's connected. And when I say page that's connected, I mean this page right here, the website. So when they click over to here, this is, let's just say, for instance, I don't know who this is, it's for education. But on this page here, see, they're going right over and reading, especially when you first set this up. So on this page that's connected, yes, maybe inside of schema markup would be a great idea under your organization and local business schema. Also, too, if you want to have it within the HTML down the page, because I know you don't want to muddy your beautifully cosmetic web page, right? So having the zip codes makes perfect sense, especially if you're identifying a market or an area, right? So when you come over here, I'll show you something. So if we're doing, let's go to a better area. Let's go to how about I guess we could Boston. It doesn't matter. Boston, Mass. All right. So when we come inside of here to Boston, let's just say that we wanted to take this over. Generally, what we'll do is we'll go northeast, southwest, right? And we'll identify inside of the red here all of the zip codes that we want to actually target: north, east, south, west, and then we'll figure out what the counties are, and the counties, if in case it's maybe going over borders of different counties. Sometimes it does. It depends on where you're at. We want to put in the county information, the zip codes, the cities, and then of course the state information inside of our schema markup, and we might put it visible. Remember I showed you guys this particular example. I'll share with you again very crassly. In Miami, we had a Miami, what was it, a plumber? I'll show you this. Now, they may have changed it, but it's 24-hour, this dude right here, all right? We worked at this dude. There's another gentleman that we worked with, but here, I'll share with you something. So here's what I mean by putting it on the page. Okay. Now I don't know who he went with recently, but I think they left it up here. Yeah, see? Very crassly. And this is what I mean. You could crassly put it into the HTML. Google understands zip codes. Zip codes are entities. Google can understand, okay, this is the service area. So back to the topic at hand. Service area businesses, how do we optimize? So here's what you want to do, all right? You don't want to take 20 different zip codes, right? I think the max is what, 20, 25 that you could stuff in there? You don't want to max that out with zip codes because it's being too precise. The other element of not wanting to pack these inside of your Google business profile is that when you're looking up your area, there's so many zip codes. Most of the time, if you're inside of a city or an area, there's going to be more than the 20, right? And I don't want to leave anybody out. There's a lot of customers that you could potentially help, right? We can't pack them all in, but we do want to use them on the page that's connected on our website, like I just showed you, right? So when we're on our particular listing, the page that's connected on your Google business profile, the primary link, when you link over inside of either schema markup or forward facing, we want to identify to Google, hey, this is the area that we service. And when you first connect or when you make changes, you can check server log and you'll realize, hey, when I make a change or when I connect, right? When I first connect, or if I make changes to my actual listing, Google always checks the main primary page that's connected. On products and services inside your Google business profile, when you check server logs, they only go and check when you first connect, or if you remove and add again. You could check for yourself inside your server log. All right. Server logs are inside of your website, by the way. Okay. With that being said, all right, we know that the page connected is going to be red. We know that we want to hit all of the different zip codes in a particular area, but there's too many, right? So what we would tend to do is we would identify inside of the area that we want to target. We'll say in this particular instance, we'll go somewhere else so it's a little bit more fun. Let's say we want to go to Houston, okay? So we go to Houston, Texas, TX, all right? We've identified our particular area here. What we want to then do is we want to take a look at this and we want to say, okay, what counties does Houston TX cover? Okay, so Harris County, all right? So what we would do then is we would say this, all right? Let's just say, for instance, that you want to target Harris County, okay? So what we would do is, if we were a business inside of Houston, is very simply this. We would put Harris County. We would put the primary location that we are in, the town or area that we're in. We'll put the county, and then we'll put the state. We want to go broad, smaller, pinpoint. And why do we want to do this? Because this way we're telling Google, hey, we are a business that operates in Texas. More notably, we're in this county and we are servicing this particular area. We don't want to pinpoint a bunch of different zip codes. That's to be done on the page that's connected. Are you with me? That is where Google's going to read what is identified on the website, and the page that's connected is going to impact what happens within your maps listing. Now, do I need to have a website? No. Is this the only way to affect what's going on? No. But when we're talking about service area, we want to go broad, county, and then we want to pinpoint the actual area that we're in. You will do so much better. When we're talking about optimization, it's not packing as much as possible. Remember, the O in optimization is for optimize. Optimize means take away, get as much as I can, doing the least amount. So we like to put state, county, town that we're in. You'll do a lot better. This, because when I'm targeting all of these particular areas, when I say county, think how many zip codes are in the county. When I say a particular city, think how many are in that city. You'll do so much better. You'll do so much better. Don't pinpoint because you don't want to leave anything out. All right. Also, too, you're allowed to switch things around. You don't have to just do it one way. You know, you don't, just because you've optimized your profile and you've done it the first initial time doesn't mean that you're done. I'll give you one more here. So you have your website inside of here. You'll have your socials. Also too, here, let's see something here. Show business address. Sure, why not? Consult. Let me see here. I think I pretty much covered everything I wanted to today. It's just a simple tip. All right. Oh, here. I guess I could bring this all together if you'd like, because I'm going to edit this later. That way it's cleaner. My example initially was no good. Right? I was trying to get Boston. It thought I was in flipping London. That wasn't working. I don't think you guys have anything. I know it's the middle of the day. I generally don't do these at this time, but this day's over. I always get excited when I see people do Google Maps stuff. I'm convinced this tool is to make money. It can be. I'd love to charge people money to optimize their Google Maps profiles. Well, maybe you could. Have you tried? You potentially can. I mean, optimizing it is relatively easy. It's the other steps. It's the reputation management. It's the traffic. It's the expansion of proximity. That's when it gets a little bit trickier. But in any case, my name is Chris Palmer. In today's Google Maps service area optimization video, what I'd like to go ahead and share with you is a way to optimize your service area, even if you're showing your address, in order to maximize your overall results and expand proximity without leaving anybody out. So I don't want to waste any time here. I'll share this with you very briefly. This is my profile. So my profile might be different than yours because this is actually a test profile where this is a real business listing, but I'm going through a couple of tests within my own business. With that said, if yours is probably verified, what you'll want to do is you will head over here to the Edit Profile button. As you can see right here, it says Edit Profile. So what you'll do is you'll click on Edit Profile, and when looking at your business profile, the next thing that you'll want to do is click on Location. Now, when you see your location, you will have your PIN, whether you're showing your address or not, you still have given Google where your business is, right? And if you have not, hooray for you. What you'll want to do is this. Come on down here to where it says service area. You still will want to give a broad, a county, and then the city that you're in. Here's the process, and here's the way to look at it. You'll come on over here to Google Maps, all right? And let's just say that you're in Houston. Now, the reason why you don't want to just put zip codes in is because you might leave someone out. Plus, a lot of times when you're looking up a particular area, perhaps like Boston, you look how many zip codes are inside of a particular city or an area. Now, the area that you're servicing might have as many as this. Now, I don't want to leave people out, or there might be areas that I don't want to service. Plus, depending upon the traffic that you're receiving in an area, and if you are running GeoGrids for yourself, you can see, hey, if I'm getting clicks and I'm getting traffic from, say, this area here, right? What happens on your GeoGrid? You tend to rise up, correct? Right? It starts to turn green. Why is that? Because I'm getting actual engagement from that particular area, at least even if it's only short term. So what you'll want to do, instead of leaving stuff out or instead of packing in zip codes like it's 2011, the better option for you is going to be state, county, city. So here's what you'll want to do. When you go inside of your listing, just like this, here's the option for you. You can click on location. You'll scroll on down, see your service area. What you'll want to do is you'll want to put in your county, just like Harris County. That's for Houston, right? So I'm targeting the county that I'm in. You can also put in state. So that would be Texas, we'll say, for instance, Texas, USA, not the city. So we go state, county, and then, of course, what area are you actually in? Because Google's already identified you. Or if you haven't given them any information, they at least see the cable connection or however you're connected to the internet. And the last piece is that you do not want to pack as many zip codes in here as possible. And the reason is because Google is reading your website. What do I mean by this? You know the page that is connected For instance, let's just say that you're this business here. All right. I did car accident lawyer in Houston. When you scroll on down, I want to show you something. See this particular, it says website, and then there's directions. If you show your address, there's directions. If you don't, you won't see this button. But when you click on website, this is the page that's connected. And that's what I mean by this. Inside of this page is where you want to put the other or pinpoint the other zip codes that you actually want to target. For instance, let's say you're in Houston, like this particular business here. I want to target a bunch of different areas inside of Houston. More importantly, it's these specific zip codes inside of this county that's inside of this state, right? I showed an example previously. It was a plumber that we worked with many moons ago, all right? Now, very crassly, what did we do? Well, when you take a look here at Miami Plumber, ranking in the map pack is this plumber here, somebody that we worked with moons ago, okay? When you take a look at this particular page, the page that's connected, that's this one here, you will see down the page that they've put zip codes. Now, you don't have to put it forward facing so everybody can see and it looks muddy like this, right? Because you probably have a cosmetically appealing website, correct? So the better opportunity is you can either put it down the page. Also, too, don't forget, there's something called ARIA tag, okay? So you want to put it inside your local business and organization. Local business is a subtype of organization. So you have organization and local business, right? You probably do. Inside of that, you'll also list out your area served and your service area. This is a phenomenal place to put all of the pinpointed zip codes that you actually service. So with that being said, my name is Chris Palmer. If you have any questions related to Google Maps, Google Business Profile, service area optimization, expanding your proximity, all right, please feel free to go ahead and ask in the section below. I hope these tips for Google Maps optimization for your service area have been helpful. Make sure that you're putting in state, county, the area you're in. When you want to start pinpointing, you put it in the pages that are connected, and then you start generating traffic from those areas, and it all will come together for you very easily, very simply. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye. All right. It's been fun. Got to go. That's it for today. I was asked. I just had somebody I was speaking with. I was just asked. They asked me about this. Hey, how come we're not putting all these zip codes in? Dude, that is long ago. You're still hitting all the zip codes. You're still going to target all the towns. You're still going to target the city. You're still going to target the counties, but you put it into the page that's connected. Another element too is, the ARIA tags, right? Like this. Here, I'll show you something real quick. All right. I worked with this dude here. Here, check this out. So let's do, how about kitchen remodeler London? Okay. It's a friend of ours. Let's take a look here real quick. Maybe bathroom. Now, I'm not in London. I'll show you something. Here, right here. See this dude here? Page that's connected here. Let me show you something. Come on over here. This is a friend of ours. All right. This is for educational purposes only. I'm sure he won't mind. This guy is in business. It always blows my mind when business owners are like, hey, why did you show my website? That's the point. You're in business, right? How do you know that this person doesn't want their bathroom refitted? But this guy did something clever, and I'm going to share this with you. All right. It's a friend of ours, friend of yours. Great guy. Wonderful guy, actually. Let's take a look down here. I'll show you something here. Now, when you come inside of here, I'll show you a quick little tip here. There he is. Good guy there. Here, check this out here. Come inside here, view page source, control F, SRC. Scroll on down here. Let's see if he still has it in here. I'll show you something real quick. Because I know that this, does this look familiar? You know anybody else that does stuff like this? There we are. Go here, inspect. I'm just showing you one little tag, another place that you want to make sure that you outline to Google that you service these areas, okay? Now, I'm not saying this guy did it the best, but I knew that he had this as an example within the page. That's why I'm showing it to you, all right? Here. View page source. Did it do it for me? Okay, Control F. ARIA. Come on down here. Now, I didn't. It's been a minute since I looked at this, so bear with me here. I don't know right where it is. It's not like I put it here, but I saw it and I thought, I said to him, that was a very good idea. So what ARIA is, just in case you don't know, ARIA tag is for what? Google will say it a lot more elegantly and more precise than I will. But here you go. ARIA, accessible, rich internet applications. Tags are attributes added to the HTML to make web content and applications more accessible to people with disabilities, particularly those using screen readers. And if you take a look at W3 and all of these things that you probably never look at, right? I never generally do, unless it helps get more visibility, right? Anything that can help fellow man, ARIA tags, and help my visibility at the same time, I'm all in. So I would take a look at these types of elements within your page, your tags, right? Very simple. Mark up the most relevant things, kind of like our friend here at the remodeling, right? This kitchen remodeler. When I'm not going to dig through it just for sake of time. I just wanted to outline to you, like say you have a map. Well, what did he outline? Well, primary keyword and brand name, area in which we service, and also zip codes and areas in which we service. And then how do you know where you service? Well, whatever city you're in, right? If you're in Houston, it's not what you think Houston is. And I'm not in South Houston. I'm not in West Houston. I'm not in North Houston. No. What does Google think Houston is, right? This is your area. Then you identify, well, what counties are in this area? What cities are in this? Or what towns are in this? What neighborhoods are in this? What are the zip codes, right? And then if you really want to get bananas, all right, I don't know how you're running traffic, but you know your geogrids, right? Here, I'll show you something here. Let me see if I can pull one up for you. Actually, you know what? Save that for the mastermind. I love you guys. Let's see the next one. You know, when you're looking at your geogrid, I'm not gonna lock in. But what I will tell you is this. You know, I don't know how you are generating traffic currently, right? But I assume that you're running some type of blended strategy that's going to include either advertisements, like ads of some sort, right? Google ads, where you're going to have a conversion action that is targeting specific areas, right? So you probably have your campaign set up, and then the campaign has different ad sets in it, right? Well, each ad is targeting a different area, and then each area has its own conversion, right? Conversion tag, not the universal, individual tags, right? So now I've been able to go to Google and say, okay, hey, here's the campaign, right? It's going to be for kitchen remodeling. And then each of the individual areas are the ads. And then I have individual tags for each, hypothetically. Then I hypothetically run ads, right? For those particular key terms, for those particular areas. So now I'm paying Google and I've identified the Google and I'm tracking with Google. Hey, here's the area, here's the primary key terms, and here's exactly where I want them to go, right? Are you with me? Then on top of that, you've already ran a geogrid. You know what a geogrid is, right? If you don't know what a geogrid is, this is what a geogrid is. Geogrid local dominator. All right, I'll show you something. It's a buddy of mine. His name's Eldar. Great guy. Okay. You see this, though? I'm sure you've seen these before. A lot of times, what I notice these map guys do is they'll look at a half a mile window or a half a kilometer or a kilometer, and they'll be like, oh, it's green. We're killing it. We're crushing it. And I'm like, yeah, for a half a mile. Or my personal favorite, I was watching a YouTube video the other day. I didn't watch the whole thing because I was busy cleaning puke off my chin. But when I did see it, though, I noticed it was like, okay, red before and after, right? And I noticed up at the top that the search was for their brand name. That's laughable, right? But now that you know what a geogrid is, what I want you to look at is you see these little tags here? Well, each of these little tags or these little dots what they signify is a longitude and latitude. Note that's an entity, okay? Each longitude and latitude is a pinpoint that you're actually tracking to see whether it's going to perform higher or lower. Well, what makes it perform higher or lower? Well, interaction from said longitude and latitude will make it perform higher, right? So let's just say that you have a longitude and latitude that's targeting a zip code. We also have the conversion pixel from ads while we're running traffic to a precise longitude and latitude. What do you think is going to happen on the geogrid that I'm targeting? You think it's going to turn red, orange, or green? During the time of said test, it's going to turn green. And that's what you're doing. That's the whole goal. The whole goal is to have your Google business profile listing, your maps listing, say that, hey, we, in this instance, Chris Palmer, operates doing these services in this specific area, most notably in this state, this county, and this city. By the way, the page that's connected, and when you check server logs, the page that they're going to go and check, right? When they come over to the page, you're going to going to also have on that page very precise, hey, we operate doing these services in this area, most notably, and you got to speak their language. You can't speak the language of human. You have to speak the language of robot. And what is that? Well, that's longitude and latitudes and zip codes, which AKA means entities. So within that page in the HTML and the forward-facing HTML that human beings see, you can write very crassly, just like this #1 winner did for Miami Plumber, right? For Miami Plumber, this dude here, our buddy, Miami Plumber, just like this, very simply. See this dude right here? Our friend? I showed him like 4 years ago when I don't work with him currently, but I knew that we did this. He did this, we'll say. See, very crass. Okay. So this is forward-facing text. I've identified to Google, hey, in my profile, I'm optimized for this area. On the website, forward-facing to human beings, because Google values what you say inside schema markup, but also forward-facing, just like the difference between a title tag and an H1. Title tag is for what? Robot. H1 is for what? The human being, right? But they match generally. It's the same kind of concept. What I'm showing humans is what I'm also showing Google. So forward-facing, okay, here's the zips. Inside a schema markup, whether this guy followed through with that or not, I couldn't tell you. I'm sure that he did. It looks like he lost his mind in some way, but that's fine. Inside the schema markup, you also identify, okay, we are this is our website, this is our organization, this is the local business, here's the product, here's the navigation, here's the areas we serve, and here's our service area. And that's where you put the exact zip codes and the areas and the services that you provide. It's in the schema. It's a forward-facing on the page. It's in the Google Business Profile. I'm also tracking it because I'm running service ads for the same exact key terms in the same exact area. Are you with me? And the very last piece is, I don't know how you're running traffic, but the areas that you are targeting, right? Because I know you're tracking it. You're tracking with the GeoGrid. Well, download that longitude and latitude list and pump traffic to those precise longitude and latitudes and watch. Now, the last thing to really bring it in, if you really want to win, is those same areas that you're targeting here, right? Like Google keeps track of visitors. Now, they're not 100% precise, but they know where that user has logged in, okay? So if you really want to bring it home, when you're generating reviews, where are the reviews coming from? Well, probably in the areas that are red within the GeoGrid that you're tracking. So that way I'm pushing ads, paying for ads, right? Paying Caesar what Caesar's. I'm paying for ads. I have conversion tracking within the actual page. I have the schema markup tracking the longitudes and latitudes of where I want to target. My Google Business Profile says, hey, we offer this service in this area. You with me so far? I'm generating traffic. However you do that, besides paid, is up to you. I'm not sure. That's outside of the scope of today's conversation, but let's just say you're manipulating traffic in some type of way to specific longitude and latitudes, most notably within a outlined area that Google has identified as your service area. Let's say Houston. Like, see the red? Well, I'm in this area, but more notably, remember, every point has a longe and lad. No matter where you go, longe and lad, longe and lad. Now, when you're generating traffic, you don't generate traffic that's in a non-residential area. And also, too, if you're running traffic inside of a residential area, and let's just say that you're running residential proxy, well, you better make darn sure that those residential proxies, those T-Mobile residentials that you're using, does that area even have that? What about the ASNs that you're running, the mobile proxies that you're using? Does that area even have coverage? In Houston, I'm sure they do, but what about your area? You think Google doesn't know? They know. Traffic, the reviews, they all come from the same area. The website says we service this area. I'm not just saying words, launches and lads, zip codes and schema. Plus, on top of that, the regular HTML, even the ARIA tags. You can look into HTML and schema markup and how to better optimize your page for location. Okay? I think that's it. I think I've said enough for today, and I love you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Many blessings. I'll edit this later and take out the pieces that I love that will be most beneficial. I'll see if you have any questions. Little Chris and I are going to do some homework. And that's it. I love you guys.